Hello and welcome back to RPG Hangout, the podcast in which we both pick a game and talk about it. I am your host, Leo, joined by my co-host, Nathan.
What's up?
So today, the games of discussion are Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars The Force Unleashed. We'll get into the discussion about those games later, but first let's go ahead and start off with the news. So, starting off, firstly, as of when this episode goes up, Uncharted, the movie, will be out.
That's exciting.
It is. I'm looking forward to it. First impressions on it are actually quite good, so that's good to know.
I heard IGN give it a 7.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, of course, IGN gives everything a 7, but... So I heard from someone that I guess went to, like, the Europe premiere, or maybe it came out earlier somewhere else, but they said that it's like the Uncharted cutscenes. So if you like the Uncharted cutscenes, then you'll probably like the movie. So, there's that.
That's fair.
Yeah. On a similar note, Horizon Forbidden West also releases this Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, first impressions on that are also, it's really good. I'm looking forward to it. I just need to finish Zero Dawn first.
Yep, same. Is that an RPG?
I believe it does count as an RPG. Because you change your equipment, you level up.
I would definitely say it's an RPG.
Yeah.
I might do that one sometime.
Oh, yeah. I've actually been kind of leaving it open for you to do.
Because I noticed you took a lot of the new stuff, so I gotta figure something out.
Yeah. I'll leave the Horizon series to you. One, you got it first
fun.
and you played it first. And also, you tend to enjoy it a little bit more than me.
I just like games where there's, like, a lot of adventuring and shit to do.
Yeah. So next, this one I don't think either of us really care about. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 have been announced.
I mean, that's cool, but yeah, I don't really play Call of Duty, so...
Yeah, and I hear that the new Modern Warfare is not all that great. And then I don't really care about Warzone at all. So, it's just Call of Duty Battle Royale, which is blah.
And I don't really play Battle Royales either, so...
Yeah. But this you do play. Cyberpunk's next gen update is out now.
Yeah, I got the update the other day.
Nice.
I haven't seen any changes yet, but I got the update.
No? Well, that's good.
It still wants me to pay for the PS5 version.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's just at that point in time when I checked.
Yeah, maybe. That's weird. I did notice that it is 50% off, so I was like, maybe, but then I was like, no. It's like I wouldn't be able to play it right now anyway, because like my PS5 is waiting for Elden Ring.
Yeah, it wants me to pay $25 to upgrade it.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
It's not even worth that.
No, no, it's not. Netflix is making a BioShock movie.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, I'm very curious how it's going to be. Like, are they going to do like classic, underwater BioShock? Are they going to do BioShock Infinite BioShock? What are they going to do? I'm surprised that they haven't decided to make it like a TV series or something.
They're making a Just Cause movie.
I heard about that ages. Yeah, like...
It's supposed to be in development this year, though.
Well, we'll see how that goes. I wonder what kind of Just Cause they're going to do there, because those games aren't very strong on story.
And they're also making a Pokemon live-action TV show.
Really now?
Yeah, so I hear.
Huh. I know that they should be looking at a sequel to Detective Pikachu or something like that.
I haven't even seen the first one.
It's pretty good.
I just couldn't get over Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu.
Yeah, I get that.
It's just I'm sure it's funny and all, but it just doesn't really click for me.
It surprisingly works pretty well. As long as you can kind of get over the fact that, it's pretty much just Deadpool's voice coming out of a Pikachu in a deer stalker's hat, then you're able to kind of enjoy the movie. Justice Smith is really good in it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Elden Ring's PC requirements were released, and they're a bit silly.
Are they, like, super heavy?
Surprisingly, no, but at the same time, yes. So, my graphics card could run it. I have a 1060 3GB graphics card. But the amount of RAM the game needs is bonkers. It takes 12 to 16 gigabytes of RAM.
Good God.
Yeah, it takes about 60 gigabytes of storage, which isn't too bad.
Wait, 16 gigabytes?
6D gigabytes of storage.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, no.
There's no way it's going to use that much RAM and only take up that little freaking...
Yeah. Well, I was surprised that, okay, cool. Like, my graphics card, if I were to get it on PC, could run this. That's awesome. Like, yours would probably be fine. It's just the question of how much RAM you have.
Yeah, I know mine's a 1070, like, graphics card, so
Yeah.
I think it would run it pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's the actual, like, the recommended is a 1070.
But I honestly think I only have like 8 RAM.
Right? I think that's about what I have. I have, like, not that much RAM to go around.
Can you upgrade the RAM? I'm sure you can.
Yes, you can. It depends on, like, what slots your thing has and what... Like, you'd have to look at your motherboard and check to see if it can take specific type of RAM, like what its max can be.
Because mine's a pre-made PC, so I don't know if I can.
You can. You just have to open it up and look at the motherboard to find out what motherboard it is. Look up the motherboard online, and then it'll tell you the max amount of RAM it can take. Because usually pre-built don't max out the RAM.
Right.
Like, if I wanted to, I could add in, like, another bit of RAM to get it up to, like, I think about 12 to 16 gig. But I can do, like, no more than that. So they've announced Sonic 3, the movie.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the new game, but I was like, wait, it's not 3, that's like...
Frontiers
the 10th
or
one.
something like that. Yeah. You know, they've announced Sonic 3, a third Sonic
Did they release
movie.
the second one?
It comes out in April.
Oh.
So, it comes out very soon, but they've announced that they're doing a third movie, and they're also doing a spin-off Knuckles series on Paramount Plus with Idris Elba, so that's nice. Nintendo is closing the eShop purchasing of Wii U and 3DS games a year from next month.
I saw that. That actually might be good, maybe?
Not really. It's going to jack up the prices of the physicals. And those were...
That, but they also might be planning to move all of those games to the Switch.
I don't know. I wouldn't really like that, you know?
I mean, the Wii U's kind of dead, to
Well,
be honest.
well, yeah, of course, like the Wii U, yeah, bring the Wii U games over, that's cool. But 3DS?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't agree about the 3DS, because I still play that shit.
Yeah.
But, like, the Wii U stuff, I say just, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just port the games over to Switch, like they did with, like, Skyward Sword.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're doing that mostly, as is, so... But the thing is, it's just gonna block off people that, one, have 3DSs, and two, who didn't upgrade from Wii U to Switch, surprisingly.
I mean, if they haven't, then that's kind of unfortunate.
Well,
But-
yeah. That's the thing, like, that's why people were complaining when they were gonna shut down the PS3 and Vita store. It's just like...
I'm glad they didn't.
Exactly. Like...
I miss the PS Vita, dude, like, so bad.
Yeah. So, like, when I do Adventure of Mana, I'm doing it on my PS Vita. Because I have it downloaded on my Vita.
But, like, the best thing about that, though, is, like, all the games that I own for the Vita now are, like, hella pricey. So, it's...
Yeah.
Like, I think Danganronpa 2, right now, like, brand new, it's like $300
Oh, that's,
on Amazon.
that is terrible.
So, I feel like I got lucky getting the physicals of those.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely are. Like, the only physical Vita game I have is Lego Jurassic World. So,
Damn.
yeah. The final bit of news is there was a Star Wars The Old Republic expansion released.
The Old Republic?
Yeah.
They're still adding to that game?
Oh, yeah. They're adding to... That's the MMO one that we played for a bit.
Yeah, I know. But I thought it was pretty old, and they weren't really doing anything with it.
Oh, no, it's really old, but they've been consistently pumping out updates for it for as long as it's been out.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And the latest
Cool.
release, I believe, came out, like, today or a couple days ago. So,
Damn.
yeah. But yeah, that is the news. On to the main part of today. The games that we played. I played Jedi Fallen Order. Nathan played Star Wars Force Unleashed. So, technically, this is the first instance of us not really playing RPGs this week. I'm still willing to count Jedi Fallen Order as a bit of an RPG, but...
It's like half.
Yeah, it's like a half RPG. Like, you gain experience and skill points and whatnot, and you upgrade your character, but overall, not a lot happens.
I will say this now, like, The Force Unleashed is definitely way more of a hack and slash than an RPG.
Yes. The Force Unleashed is definitely... Well, it's from the time of, like, an older kind of action game. Like, a lot of them would consider it an action-adventure. Jedi Fallen Order is very similar to... It's like a mix between, say, Dark Souls and Uncharted. So...
That's so weird.
Exactly.
You think it would just be like a new age Force Unleashed game.
It's similar. Like, you can customize your lightsaber, you can put skill points into, like, different attributes, like, so you have more life, so you have more force, so that you can do this different move.
That's exactly what Force Unleashed did.
Yeah. So that's like what the upgrades are, but you gain XP and everything as you go along. But it's similar to Dark Souls because it has, like, the save points, and when you rest at a save point, it respawns the enemies. The enemies can kill you just about as fast as you can kill them, kind of thing.
Oh god.
So it's that mix, and then it'll have like calm traversal areas like Uncharted does. So
you're just climbing around.
Yeah, so you can climb on things. So there's a scene where, like, you're climbing up an AT-AT, and, like, you're climbing the vines and going around it to get on top of it, and it's very Uncharted. The only thing that's really annoying is how you initiate climbing. In Uncharted, you just, like, run up to a wall and jump on it, and you just go.
Yeah.
For Jedi Fallen Order, you have to, like, run and jump up onto it, and you have to press a button to actually, like, latch on.
Oh god.
Yeah, so every time you...
So it's like little nightmares.
Yeah, so, like, you jump onto a wall, and, like, he'll dangle there for a second. If you don't, like, hit L2, he'll fall off, and then you have to jump back on.
Damn.
It's
sounds annoying.
It can be. Like, once you get into the flow of things, it's fine. But, like, say if you jump from Uncharted to that, it can be annoying to start. And especially, like, the movement can feel a little bit stiff at times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you feel like the character should be moving at least a little bit faster than he actually is.
Oh, I get that for the Force Unleashed too.
Yeah.
It's pretty stiff, but it's also really old.
Yeah.
So
the combat reactions and everything are also just like a tiny bit like stiff at times. If you hit swing, guess what, buddy? You're locked into that swing. So you're fucked. If
swinging forever and ever. Like those times in Uncharted where you go into a swinging thing and then you leave for a moment and he's just standing there swinging.
I mean, kind of. Well, like, what I meant was, like, say you swing your lightsaber, you're locked into it for a bit. So, like, you have to hope that, they don't hit you while you're trying to hit them. Or, like, you get off just, like, the millisecond first. Because you can't get out of the animation to block or anything. You're locked in the animation.
Yeah.
As for swinging, there's, like, 2 different types of swinging that you can do. I mean, as for, like, vine swinging, I mean, there's the normal ones that you can just get to normally. And then there's ones that you'll have to pull to you using the Force. When you unlock that Force pull down the line.
That's
and
cool.
It is kind of cool, but as it is, the Vine system can be a little bit finicky at times. Going through this time, it was not nearly as bad as it was the first time I played, but there's these sliding sections like in Uncharted 4, and you have to leap off and, like, grab a vine, swing across a gap and whatnot. And I remember the first time I played it, I just kept fucking missing the vine. I would be, like, slightly off to one side, slightly off to the other side. Pretty sure I had hit it that time. God damn it, here we go again.
Oh my god, I had similar experiences in the Force Unleashed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like, I would, like, because, I don't know, like, the maps are all kind of look the same in, like, platform-wise.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really sure where I could jump and where I couldn't jump, so, like, I would, like, think I could go, like, down in this, like, this little cubby. I jump down there, and he just, like, die, dead. I have to start way back at the end of the level. I'm like, god damn it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, luckily with Jedi Fallen Order, it's a little bit more forgiving. So, like, when you're in a non-combat area, if you fall off, it'll just spawn you back at the beginning of, like, up on top of the cliff, or if you're on a slidey bit, back at the beginning of the slidey bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very forgiving there. Like, it'll still take a bit of your health, so eventually, if you do end up dying, it will send you back to the save point. But other than that, the only way that you get sent back to the save point is by getting killed in combat. So the basic plot of the game is you are Cal Kestis.
It's canon, right?
It is canon. So this game is canon. You are Cal Kestis, a ex-Padawan who just barely survived Order 66. You are on a scrap planet, hiding out, just doing your normal thing. Your boss is like, hey, it's a robot boss thing. It's like, hey, you need to go secure these clamps on the thing so that we can, like, cut the wing off and haul it away. And we're like, it's a bit dangerous, and they'll be okay for the shift. And we're like, okay, that's fine. So you go do that. Your friend finds a Jedi starcraft crashed into the surface of this Republic star cruiser, and he's like, "Oh, we could get big money for this." And of course, just then they finish cutting the wing, and the wing starts collapsing. You slide off, and you use the Force to save your friend from falling into a pit. And from there, the Inquisitors come because you used the Force and outed yourself as a Jedi. So they come to hunt you down and kill you. But you escape with the help...
Oh, okay, no, never mind, continue.
All right. Well, you escape with the help of Seer, who is a former Jedi, and her friend Grease, who's a pilot. And from there, she pretty much asks you, hey, let's try to restart the Jedi Order. We need to go find this holocron that has a list of Force sensitives so that we can rebuild the Order. And that's pretty much what you're doing. So you're just going from planet to planet, following this, like, archaeologist guy. Or at least, like, so he is most certainly, like, dead. And he's left a little robot called BD-1, who is, like, giving you these messages as you go along. He'll like, scan a bit of environment and recognize, oh, I need to play a message here, kind of thing. And he'll play this message of this, like, archaeologist kind of Jedi who, I guess, had this holocron and hid it away while he was trying to learn about this ancient civilization for some reason. So you're just kind of going around from planet to planet, finding, like, temples and whatnot, evading the Empire, and just trying to go along, kind of thing. Yeah. It's an okay story. I mean, I'm waiting for the sequel to come out, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better. But, yeah, I mean, overall it's a fun game. It has difficulty modes, so you can whack it right down to easy if you need to. The first time I played it on the one up from the bottom level, because the bottom level is just like story. I played it on that
so
all the way to
normal?
Yeah, basically normal or like Uncharted easy kind of thing. But like, so you go through the entire game, it was fine until like the final boss, in which I was like, and whacked it down to like the easiest difficulty and just finished it, and I was like, I'm done. But this time I started playing through on, I think it's Jedi Master. Because the difficulty levels are Story, Jedi Knight, Jedi Master, and then Grand Master. And I tried playing on Grand Master, like, the time before this, and got stuck on an area, and I was like, eh. So for this time, I was like, I'll just go one below that, and worked my way pretty much through a good chunk of the game. I'm at one of my less favorite parts of the game, so that's where
you weren't able to beat it again?
I wasn't able to beat it again, but I have beaten it once, so I know, like, what happens. Yeah. Sadly, so similar to, like, last week, there is a bit of backtracking, and these maps that you explore can get big. Like, one of the planets you go through, you just kind of are walking through, you go through a village, and then you kind of work your way through a small little cave system, and then you go through this, like, entire, like, mining operation on the side of a mountain, and then you go into a temple, go through that temple. Like, it just goes ham, and then... Well, you go through, like, this another, like, cave system thing. Then you go to the temple, go through the temple, and, like, pop out the other side kind of thing. And it's just, like, this big, sprawling map that you end up with, and you're just like, Because sometimes you then look at it, and you're like, while you have opened up shortcuts here and there, you're going to have to find your way out again.
Yeah. Kind of intimidating.
Yeah, and where I was on... And there's only like 5-6 planets, something like that you go to. And then you go back through some... like, so you go through some planets, and then you're pretty much told, okay, now go back through some more. And
so it actually is like quite similar to Force Unleashed.
Yeah, like... it.
Because you only go to like 5 planets and maybe a couple space stations.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like...
And then you go back to them later.
That was one of the comparisons that it had when it came out. People were like, oh, so this is like the new Force Unleashed, but, you know, not so overpowered kind of thing.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Oh, man.
Yeah. So one of the things I did want to check when I came back to this game was the bugs then versus now. Because when I first played it, I played it when it came out. Now, a lot of this is probably attributed to my PS4 at the time. My PS4... garbage. It's like a Model 1 PS4. It was running at the time, like, the newest game. This is end of the era, PS4 era game.
Yeah, I actually forgot that it was before the PS5.
Right? And it struggled. So there was a lot of graphical bugs. There was a lot of... Something that my PS4 liked to do for, like, graphically intensive games is it would unsync the audio.
Mm-hmm.
Or it would, like, freeze and the audio would continue. It was super annoying. But luckily, that was not a problem on the PS5. The only PS5 issue that it had is some culling issues. And some, like, weird, I don't know, echo issues, I guess you could call it. So when you're in, like, a dark area, this is where it's, like, super obvious.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that the game, to hold the graphics and everything, is doing a ton of culling. You remember what culling is, right?
It's when the game, like, pulls up files at a specific point, right?
Well, it's more when the game hides something. So...
Oh, yeah.
So
like it's like something that's already there, and then after, like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so, like, to explain it for the listeners, basically, it's what you can't see. So, like, behind you, usually the game unloads a large chunk of stuff behind you, so that it's not, being so graphically intensive on your computer or console. And they'll usually do it for things that you just generally can't see as well, so that the game isn't loading all this crap. At least visually. Like, it'll still technically be there, it just won't be seen. It'll be invisible or see-through. Now, while I was going through, like, a cave, when, like, you're going around a pillar, you can see along the edge the culling catching up. So it has a little bit of trouble catching up the culling. So there's that. And then the echo thing I was talking about is sometimes as, like, you see something, like, moving across, like, say, a texture or something, you'll see an echo of the character model kind of going across, as if they're, like, like when you tap water and it waves out.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but, like, the character model's, like, silhouette or something. It's really weird. But
that does sound weird.
Yeah, those are, like, the only bugs that I could really say. And there's also, like, a little bit of flashing that happens, but that's mostly because of, like, pop-in and the culling, like, coming in. So, overall, it's not too bad. It's just... It kind of takes you out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I already kind of mentioned the gameplay. A lot of paths are locked off. So, the main things that this kind of falls under is... So, it's Dark Souls-esque. It's Uncharted-esque. It's like Force Unleashed. And it's also... like a Metroidvania, because there's a lot of, like, when you go back to planets with new powers, then new paths open up to you, kind of thing. So, there's that. Overall, the combat's pretty smooth, though it's very easy to, like, lose control of a battle. It does well, actually, it does what a lot of games do nowadays, where, like, when there's an unblockable attack, it'll, like, the enemy will flash red and then go to attack, kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, there's always, like, a telltale.
Yeah, but the timing sometimes is a bitch. Like, technically, the difficulty settings, what they change is, like, the parry timing and enemy health and your health kind of thing. But sometimes getting the, like, timing on, say, there's a rocket trooper who's shooting a missile at you. Timing the force push can be a pain in the ass. Because it's very easy to mistime that and just die.
So you have to be exact.
Yes, you do. But yeah, so that is Force Unleashed. Any questions about it?
You mean the Fallen Order?
Yes.
You said the Force Unleashed.
I knew I was going to make that mistake at least once.
I mean, I don't have too many questions on it, because it really just seems straightforward.
It is pretty straightforward.
Like, my only questions was, like, was it canon? And then, like, just gameplay-wise, like, how did it play? Which you explained that very well already.
Yeah.
So, like, it was, like, the first things you talked about, so my questions were already answered.
Yeah, so, I mean, we can expand a little bit on, like, the canon thing. So...
Like, when does it take place in between the movies?
So, it takes place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith.
I have watched Revenge of the Sith, yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of funny, because that's when The Force Unleashed was supposed to take place.
Yes, that is actually the thing. Like, a lot of people are just like, man, like, it has a lot of similarities with Force Unleashed. The only thing is that you don't become, like, Vader's apprentice or anything like that.
It's almost like they were trying to redeem themselves.
kind of. It's a completely different company and whatnot. It's done by the Titanfall guys.
But like the fact that it's so similar to The Force Unleashed is kind of sketchy.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, there's probably definitely like a lot of inspiration from The Force Unleashed.
I mean, personally, I think The Force Unleashed was a good game. Like when I played it as a kid, it was great. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, no, I loved it when you as a kid. I remember. I mean, I told you this before the podcast, but I'll say it again. So when we were younger, kids even, you might say, I remember staying up as late as I could playing it, and I got to the final boss, but I had to go to bed. So what I did is I left my PS2 on all night and like went to bed, and just like I would every once in a while just like keep an eye, make sure my PS2 was on, go back to sleep. Keep an eye, make sure my PS2 was on, go back to sleep. Then in the morning, I got up and then finished the final boss.
Oh, those are the good old days where like we didn't have rest mode or anything, and we just had to leave it on.
Oh yeah, and then worry that your PS2 would die in the middle of the night.
Yeah, like overheat or something.
Oh, that was my panic at the time. I think that was one of like maybe 2 times I did that. I didn't dare do it again. But yeah.
You saying that though is like kind of like a cool comparison to now, like playing games now. Because like you said, like you stayed up all night and everything to play it, but I actually was able to beat it in just 4 hours.
Exactly. Like it's one of those
so
things.
Like the difference between playing a game as a kid and like really like feeling the game and playing it for the first time, and then playing it when you're older, like knowing more of how games work and like what you need to do.
Oh yeah, like so. It's one of those things where you're just like, wow, really? This is only that long? The thing I had the most, like, that experience with was Ed, Edd and Eddy, The Misadventures.
Uh-huh.
That game's only, like, 2 hours long. And I was like, really? I remember that taking me so long to beat that as, like, a kid. But,
yeah, I mean, that's, like, the other thing, though, is, like, when we were kids, we would literally just go on a game just to mess around.
Yeah. Well, the other problem is, with Ed, Edd and Eddy, The Misadventures, there's no real ending to that game. You just do it's like 3 or 4 quote unquote episodes, and then it just it doesn't tell you congratulations, you beat the game or anything. You just drop back into the overworld like normal. So I had beaten it, but I didn't know I had beaten it, so I would run around the world for like another 5 hours trying to find the next level.
And in reality there was actually nothing left to do.
Exactly. It sucked.
I mean, yeah, I think a game should definitely have, like, something saying you beat the game, but, you know, you can play it longer if you want.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's go ahead and go into the Force Unleashed, actually, this time. So you said you beat it in 4 hours, eh?
Yeah. You can even look on my Steam. It says 4.1.
Yeah. Well, so did you get a chance to do the DLC?
I have not, no.
Okay.
Like I said, like I beat it, and then like that's really all I had time for.
Yeah.
But I was just proud at the fact that I was able to sit down for one day and actually beat the game.
Oh yeah, that
story.
That must have been a nice feeling.
I mean, like I experienced all the like DLC costumes and stuff that it came with, and like all the bonuses, so that was pretty cool. Nice. I just played it on the normal difficulty, and yeah, I honestly forgot how short that game is.
Yeah, it's only like a few things.
Like the levels were like pretty open, but very linear. Like you always knew where you were going.
Yeah.
And it didn't take you long to. But like I said before, like the background of the world makes you think you can go that way, but in reality, it will just kill you.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a similar thing to Jedi Fallen Order, because like where it is fairly open, it is mostly linear. But at the same time, it does have branching paths, and you're not entirely certain if where you're going is where you're actually supposed to be going. Like, you can go a long way down a path, not sure if, like, am I actually going the right way, or will it, like, be telling me, like, nah, you can't go here. So you just keep going, and then you find out, okay, I am supposed to go this way.
It was a huge blast from the past, though, like, going through the levels again. Oh, and how, like, silly fast the story pace moves.
Oh,
because, like, this one was, again, supposed to be after number 3.
Yeah.
And Darth Vader, like, kills this Jedi takes his son, makes him his apprentice. Then he names him Star Killer, which is super badass.
Which they did
isn't
bring
isn't
back.
that the name of the Order 66 base or whatever?
It is. That is the name of the First Orders.
The First Order, not Order 6. Sorry.
The First Order's Death Star thing. Death Star, but bigger and better, and a planet.
Yeah, Star Killer.
Yeah, so they called that Star Killer base, and then if I remember correctly, what's the character's main actual name besides Star Killer? It's like Galen, isn't it?
They never specify his name.
I could have swore that they did. I could have swore it was like Galen Merrick or something like that.
I mean, I didn't recall seeing it at all.
Do you remember what his dad's name was?
They just called him Star Killer.
Do you remember what his dad's name was?
I do not.
Dang. I'm pretty sure that they...
I'm pretty sure it's all mentioned in number 2 and not number 1.
Probably. But I'm pretty sure they took that name and they gave it to, at least part of it, to a character from Rogue One.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The guy that designs the Death Star, I believe.
Honestly, I like the main character for The Force Unleashed. She's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the actor has gotten a ton of work in Star Wars. So the guy that plays Star Killer... in that he is the, I believe, voice of Darth Maul. He's either the voice or the body double of Darth Maul.
Oh, really?
I think he's the voice. I believe he's the voice of Darth Maul, and he is the voice of Darth Maul in the animated series.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. He's gotten a lot of Star Wars work, and I believe he might have helped out on Fallen Order. I think, because he's like one of the main fight choreographers. I think that they use.
That's cool. So since The Force Unleashed, he's still sticking around.
Oh yeah, and technically since before The Force Unleashed, because I believe he voiced Darth Maul in Phantom Menace as well.
But yeah, it was crazy remembering how fast paced the story is.
Yeah.
Of course, the first mission is you playing Darth Vader, and then you kill his father, and then shows him accepting him, and then the next thing you know, you're already on your first mission going to kill General Coda.
Oh yeah, Rom Coda.
Yeah, and then which is a super epic fight, I might add.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically it's Darth Vader sending him on test and everything, and then literally only the third mission in, Darth Vader kills Star Killer and throws him out the fucking ship.
Yeah.
And it's all quote unquote a ploy to get to draw out the freaking Emperor.
Yeah.
And he gets super pissed because Darth Vader finds him and resurrects him, but with new powers, super overpowered force powers,
yeah,
which is ridiculous.
This was the early 2000s, so everything had to be edgy. So you had to have an edgelord character all the time. This, I believe, was around the time of Darksiders and shit. So you're
yeah,
whoa.
the main character was super edgy without the hair. And then his pilot. He had a super heavy crush on, and then before you know it, they're already madly in love.
Yeah, Juno Eclipse, I remember that.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then once Darth Vader revives you, you immediately turn back into his apprentice, and you're alright, what do I do now? And then you start a rebellion, and then you start, being a good guy. You don't become so edgy. You don't become so edgy because you're man, maybe the Empire is doing some pretty nasty shit.
Yeah, oh man, you just...
And then you find out that
a lot of stuff.
You find out that, your father was killed by Vader, and that's why, he's the apprentice.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk canon again, real quick.
It's not canon anymore, I don't think.
It is not at all. So
it was supposed to be originally, but then they, scrapped that idea.
Yes, so originally this game was supposed to be canon. It was supposed to be oh, this is how the rebellion started. Then there's also this nice little what-if scenario that you can have fun with. But
yeah, that makes sense with how the story went in The Force Unleashed.
Yeah, but they were we can't have a Jedi that's this stupidly powerful anymore.
Dude, the main character was fucking... the powers, the skills that they give you in that game... It's insane. And, the fact that you could, pick up, 3 stormtroopers and just throw them around like rag dolls.
Yeah.
But like that's my favorite way of killing them. And like I love how like you force push and then they like start tripping over each other and killing themselves, and it's fucking hilarious to watch.
So you can kind of do a similar thing in Fallen Order. Is like eventually you get to the point where you can just like pull them off of like cliffs and just like ignore them. So you can like pull them off cliffs. You can, I believe you're eventually able to stop blaster bolts in the air as well. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
That was one thing that I loved about the Force Unleashed, though, is like you can actually like grab the enemies, like no matter what size. I mean, obviously you have to get upgrades for like just bigger enemies, but like just like pick them up and throw them around, throw them at walls, throw them at each other, and like just see them like. And then their screams, like their cries for help when you're like holding them in the air, and like the stormtrooper's like, "Wah! Wah!" And he's like, help me, and then you throw him, and he's like, "Whoa!" And then you just see like health orbs come up at you, like you don't even know where you threw them at. You're just gone.
That actually kind of reminds. So
this is super fun
in Jedi Fallen Order. That they have dialogue similar to that in when you're fighting them. So like at first the group of people will be like super confident. And they're like, just surrender, you're outnumbered, and whatnot. But then as you start killing them, they're like, oh god, he's killing us. We need backup. Oh my god.
Yeah, that stuff happened there too. Like, oh god, he's overpowering us. Like, he's too strong.
Oh, that is fun.
We're being slaughtered.
But yeah, so the canon ending to that game is you getting yeeted out a window.
That's only the third mission.
No, like the ending. Like when you're given a choice, you get yeeted out a window.
Oh, okay.
That's the canon ending. And then that leads into the second game, which we can save for some time. But that one ending was supposed to be the ending that like, wrapped everything up in a nice little bow and like, leads into like a new hope and whatnot. But it doesn't fully work. Then
there was a lot of aspects in that game that just didn't really fit with how Star Wars went.
No. Then there was the non-canon ending where you become the new Vader and just start being a Sith. That's what leads into the DLC.
You see, the ending the ending that I got was the Emperor ends up killing you.
Yeah, so
like you don't get thrown out a window or anything; he just kills you, like straight up.
I remember him chucking you out a window. Maybe that's at the beginning of the second game.
That's the mission I'm talking about. Like, you're like, hey, Darth Vader, I killed this guy for you. And then Darth Vader picks you up, stabs you, and throws you out the window. And then that's where he revives you and tells you to start a rebellion.
Huh. Maybe I'm just mixing up those two parts of the game. I don't know.
It's possible. I don't really remember number 2 as much as I remember number 1, though.
Well, I think it might have been, like, at the beginning of number 1, like, they do, like, a little recap thing. Emperor kills you, then just chucks you out of... For some reason, I distinctly remember a window. I don't know why. But...
yeah, I mean, like, you do get chucked out of a window.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think you get chucked out of a window, like, 3 times.
But, yeah. I do have fond memories of Force Unleashed. I want to go back and play it again, especially after hearing some of these memories, because I just remember how dumb that game is. It's fun and dumb.
The enemy physics is my favorite. Like, they literally trip over themselves, and you don't have to do shit.
Oh, I did want to mention, so the version that got released on Switch, or is going to get released on Switch, is not out yet. I was wrong when I said it was out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's the Wii version, so it's the garbage version.
Oh. See, that's the one that I played as a kid.
You played the PS2 one as well.
Yeah. Which was, in comparison, way better.
Oh, yeah. And even better than that was the PS3 version. So,
I never played the PS3 version of it.
Well, technically now you have, because that's what the PC version is.
Oh. Yeah, it was actually... Honestly, I think this was like the first full game that I played on my PC, too.
Oh, yeah?
Like max resolution and everything. Like, it was really cool.
Nice.
I played with a remote, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Towards the end game, when you, like, bring down the starship...
Yeah.
Took me an hour.
Really?
So technically, it only took me 3 hours to beat that game.
Dang.
Okay, so I would I would start bringing the starship down, and then TIE fighters would come up and, like, kill me immediately. So I had to start over, and it wasn't until a little bit, like a few tries, that I realized that I actually had to stop bringing it down, kill the TIE fighters, and then start bringing it down again.
Yeah.
However, I took too long every time to kill the TIE fighters that the starship would go back into place.
Oh.
So it was a slow, agonizing time of just slowly pulling it down, fighting the TIE fighters. And finally, I got fast enough at defeating the TIE fighters that I was able to actually pull it down. And by the time I actually did it, I was so frustrated. Like, that was the only time I found myself super frustrated with how long that part took, and it shouldn't have taken me that long.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember it being that hard, but yeah, that was pretty frustrating.
So, would you play Fallen Order?
I do. I want to.
Yeah?
I do actually want to compare for myself, like, the difference between The Force Unleashed and Fallen Order.
I mean, if you want to borrow it sometime, I do have the physical.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I just know that every now and then it's like goes on sale for really cheap.
It does. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on sale now, because there's a new
the
PS
Critics'
store.
Choice or whatever.
No, there's actually another one out. It's like a Planet of Savings or something like that.
Oh, already?
Yeah, it came out today. Critics' Choice, I think, closed today as well.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
but a lot of the same games are still there.
Well, they're still doing the add-on deals, too. That's cool.
Yeah, they do the add-ons, yeah.
I'm
But,
actually
yeah.
going to check real quick if it's on sale.
I mean, hey, you never know. At least I certainly don't.
Yep, it's $15 right now.
Well, there you go. So,
$20 for if you want the deluxe upgrade.
there's not a whole lot in the deluxe upgrade. It's just some skins. So if you don't care about,
Yeah, I mean, the game
skins.
looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely fun. It runs really well on PS5. The only issue is, again, there's like little visual bugs. As long as you don't let those get to you, you'll have a grand old time. Just be careful of what difficulty you choose, because it can be a slog sometimes.
I mean, The Force Unleashed was pretty buggy. Like, I was doing the second boss, which is like the alien, the spider leg robot guy.
Yeah.
And I force pushed him ridiculously really far into a wall. And he got stuck there for like 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And I thought I had to restart the game, but then, like, all of a sudden he just, like, boom, other side of the room started attacking me again. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? But, like, the fact that you can force push the bosses, though, was, like, when I was fighting General Coda, I was throwing that man around like a rag. Like, he was screaming and everything, and, like, I was just, like, throwing shit at him, like, picking him up, slamming him down, and, like, that boss fight took me probably, like, a minute tops. It was ridiculous.
Nice. That does remind me, though. There was something that reminds me is that of the old canon, General Ram Koda was like the through line. He was supposed to appear, and technically did appear, in Star Wars Battlefront 3, but it never really released, so it became Star Wars Elite Squadron on the PSP. And
was he in that one?
He appears in it, yeah.
Was that after The Force Unleashed?
I believe so.
Man, PSP, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a very rough story in that game, and basically he just like appears and is just like, you're a Jedi, you're a Force sensitive clone, congratulations, you fucking go, and then he kind of disappears.
Yeah, but so the actual canon for The Force Unleashed is actually like all the way up until you get yeeted out the window.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Well, at least...
So then number 2 is just kind of its own standalone thing then, huh?
Well, no, so the actual... the game still is 100% not canon.
Yeah.
But at the time, the canon was he was killed by the Emperor. So
Right.
the ending that you got was the canon ending. And that leads into the second game in which you're a clone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which is... The whole story of number 2 is kind of like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like your clone invaders like fucking hunting you down like a dog.
There was originally a planned third game, but they never got to it because the second game sold so poorly.
Yeah, I was seeing that in like the community page of The Force Unleashed, there were like advertisements for number 3.
Yeah, so there was some concept art that they released, but they never got into like full production of the game, sadly. So it's one of those things.
Ooh, you can get all of the Star Wars games for $200 right now.
Oh yeah, no, like you can get all the old stuff like bundled together. It's nice sometimes. Expensive though.
Yeah.
So what you playing?
I've been playing Uncharted 4. And then, yeah, I just played The Force Unleashed, which really only took me a day. And
yeah.
I've been trying to get through Danganronpa on the PS Vita again.
Oh yeah.
So I can get them trophies.
Nice.
That's really about it.
Yeah. I haven't really been playing much of anything. I played a little bit of Star Wars Battlefront 2 and whatnot, but I don't know. I just couldn't. I ended up watching a ton of anime instead. In 2 days, I watched 2 whole anime. So there's that.
That brings me back to my childhood.
Oh, right? Yeah, I watched Rascal Does Not Dream of a Bunny Girl Senpai. Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Which was not that one. Yeah, it was not what I expected it to be. I expected it to like be all around the whole like she's invisible thing, but that's like resolved by episode 3. So
oh jeez.
Yeah. I was like,
so after that, it's basically just like full slice of life.
Kind of. So basically this guy keeps getting embroiled in like these weird ass events. So it starts off with him being able to see her, but more and more people not being able to see her or even remember her until, he fixes it. Then there is a girl that keeps resetting time. So they keep looping the day. Except for he remembers that the day is looping, so he's able to fix it. Then there's a girl that splits into 2 versions of herself and whatnot. And then
so it's like supernatural kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like this weird thing. They call it like adolescent syndrome, and I was like,
oh, like, they use that a lot in animes like that.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, so compare that to say how that's kind of like brought over in Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions. Not the same thing at all. It is a good anime.
Man, I watched that forever ago. Damn.
Right? I watched that like last year or the year before. But yeah, not the same kind of adolescent syndrome at all. Like that one is like, obviously. oh, you imagine you have superpowers. In this, it's you so badly want something that it becomes like a reality.
That's actually, I don't know if you've seen the anime Charlotte.
I have not.
But they use the same thing in that one, where it's like a club of teenagers, and they have like supernatural powers, and they call it like adolescence. But it's actually a really dark anime, and if you want to cry, watch it.
Well, speaking of crying, the other anime I watched was Kono Oto Tomare, The Sounds of Life.
Oh, yeah, I heard that one's sad.
It's not super sad per se. So it's about a club. These specifically the koto club. The koto is the traditional Japanese instrument that kind of looks like a fretboard, just like on a massive scale. It's like the size of a desk kind of thing. And it's a club that's about to, close. So this guy is trying to look for new recruits. And the first recruit is this delinquent. And the one immediately after the delinquent is this prodigy. Like a well-known koto prodigy. So the delinquent is joining because his grandfather is the one that founded the club. The prodigy is joining because she wants to pretty much prove to her mom that she is still good, like she's still practicing the koto and whatnot, and trying to get her feelings across to her mom, who became very strict with her after her father died. But yeah, so it's sad in the way that like the series is able to build a nice level of emotion and whatnot, and as it's like completing these storylines, the emotion overwhelms you, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And also, like, backed by the music and everything. It's a really nice series and whatnot.
I've just been slowly working my way through Fire Force.
Nice.
I have
the
new season of Demon Slayer came out, so I have to finish that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I still have to watch the first season.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got the tattoo. I really like it.
Yeah. But, the only complaint I would have about Konoto Tomare, The Sounds of Life, is the way that they decide to pace the show kind of sucks.
Oh, yeah.
So, there's 2 seasons. Each season, they have the, like, midpoint song that they're working towards, and then the end point song that they're working towards. So, in the first season, they have to prove that they're actually learning the koto, because a bunch of the people in the class are just a ton of delinquents.
Okay.
Or considered delinquents. It's the delinquent that joined because his grandfather founded the club, and then 3 of his friends who joined the club just to help save the club. Yeah, so they have to...
Kind of like the melancholy of whatever.
Yeah, Haruhi Suzumiya.
That was like one of the first animes I ever watched.
That's one of the first animes I started and didn't finish.
That's fair.
Yeah. But, so they joined the club, and then once the vice principal pretty much points out, like, yeah, you guys just joined to save it, like, I'm not having that. You have to prove that you guys are actually learning the koto and everything, so they have a performance that they're going to do in a month's time, so they have to learn not only the koto, but a song for the koto in a month, and that's the midpoint. And then the end point is, I think it's the spring festival, or the spring, it's a spring tournament, and they go through, learn a song for that, and they just after their performance, the season ends. So you don't find the results out until the beginning of season 2. So
damn.
You get to the beginning of season 2, you find out that they didn't win because, well, they kind of flubbed the first half of the song because...
They fucking sucked.
Well, no, one of them had injured their hand right before the performance.
Oh, of course.
And so the first half of the song is, they're like a little bit out of tune and out of pace until, all of a sudden they snap and they're able to kind of go forward and do a fantastic second half of the song. But for that one, the midpoint is a school festival. They do a song and they perform on stage at the school festival. And then afterwards, they have the qualifiers for the nationals. That's the season finale arc bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, you find out, they win, they succeed, they go through, but they still have the nationals to do. So I'm just waiting for a season 3 to be announced, but there has yet to be news on that, sadly.
Damn.
Yeah.
So they're just going to leave you in limbo for a while?
Oh, almost certainly. Just like I would like there to be a second season of Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, but they haven't announced that either.
I gotta get back into anime eventually.
So the reason I watched both of these anime like back to back is because I was sitting there and like I'll flip through Instagram and I'll see like pictures from anime and whatnot, and I'll be like, oh man, I really need to watch that. And I was like, screw it. Went into Funimation and just watched all of Rascal Doesn't Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai because I'd seen so many screenshots from it, so I just wanted to see it. Yeah. And then I had seen a screenshot from Sound
of Life?
Yeah, that. I had seen a screenshot from that, and only when I started watching the second season did I realize that, oh yeah, I saw a screenshot from this, that's why I added it to my list. I was like, that's what I saw. Okay. Nice anime.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah. I believe that's it, unless you played or something else.
No.
No?
You know my life.
Oh, yeah. It's a mess.
It's yeah. When I have time to do stuff, it's very specific stuff, so.
Yeah, mine's not too much better, to be honest. But I do have a lot of free time. It's just, like, in general, my life is a disaster.
Yeah.
Brought on by
Who's
myself.
isn't at this day and age, really?
Exactly. Anyway, so on to the business of next week. So next week, I will be playing Ghost of Tsushima, and Nathan.
And I will probably be playing The World Ends With You, or talking about the first game.
So, look forward to that. I have the fun of fiddling around with the making the thumbnail for that episode.
That is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening or watching if you're watching on YouTube. Though there's not much to watch on the video version of this.
And if you're listening while you're working hard and living your life and making that good money, thank you.
Get those
really
games.
appreciate you.
We do, like, very much. Seeing the steady growth of this podcast has actually been really reassuring to me. Like, I get a little bit disheartened when there's, like, days where there's no listens, but once I see, like,
happen.
Oh, yeah, but I've now kind of gotten into the rhythm of, like, okay, so Monday there's, like, a big spike. On release day there's, like, a little bit of a spike, maybe a bigger one depending on what happens, but Monday's where the big spike happens, and then there might be a secondary spike later on in the week, and that gives me hope, and I really like seeing the numbers go up. It's fun.
Yeah. That's definitely nice, but I'm trying to look at it as, like, it's just like a nerd event session almost.
Oh yeah, and
just a reason to nerd out about RPGs.
And yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping that, well, one, what helps us continue going on is because it's just us talking about stuff that we like, and hopefully it'll resonate with people because we're just chatting. We're just having a little bit of a gab session about the games that we're playing. I mean, it's a little bit structured, but not terribly so.
And if anyone wants to reach out to us, we have a email.
Yes,
RPG
we do.
Hangout.
Official RPG Hangout.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Sadly, we couldn't nick the actual thing.
And then we have an Instagram.
We do. We have the RPG Hangout Instagram, or we have our individuals at Died Within and Leo Legionnaire.
And if anyone actually is listening, I have a question, and you should send it to an email. Which one of us do you like better?
Oh, wow. Get the divisive thing.
Whose opinions are a little bit... Which of our opinions do you relate to more if you've played these games that we've talked about?
Okay.
So, like, not like, I'm better than you, but... Which one of our opinions about these games that we played do you relate more to, or if it's like kind of like a mixture?
Yeah. And if you'd like to respond to that question, feel free to reply in at officialrpghangout@gmail.com. Again, sadly we did not get the just plain old RPG Hangout as it is, actually. Speaking of, we might, like, I know we've been promising this every week and we still have yet to actually properly do it.
I really want to, I just don't have time.
I know. But we might be live streaming these games together on Sunday at some time, no specific time.
Actually, I cannot stream The World Ends With You because I don't have a way to stream my Switch at the moment.
Can't you just do the HDMI? Or do you have to do World Ends With You in handheld mode?
It's better handheld. It's touchscreen only, really.
We'll figure it out. Well, we'll figure something out. At the very least, I should be streaming Ghost of Tsushima, and he might stream something else.
Yeah,
that's fine.
If anything, I'll just stream something else and play it on the side or something.
Yeah. But if you'd like to get in contact with us again, there is the email, officialrpghangout@gmail.com, our Instagrams, our YouTubes.
You can really reach Leo on the RPG Hangout thing, and then you can reach me mostly on Died Within, but the E is a 3 on Instagram.
Yeah, the links are in the description, wherever it is with the podcast, and it is in the description on YouTube at the bottom. But yeah, go ahead and we'll see you next week.
All right, catch everyone later.
Goodbye.